The basics are very simple. You should focus on creating content and creating backlinks. Always try to do keyword research. You might think you know what people are searching in Google, but you'll be surprised how many times you find something that you're doing wrong.
Welcome to the My Future Business Show, where we get you in front of your best audience and keep you there. Not only are we interviewing the biggest names in business to help you become even more successful, we're inviting you to book your spot on the show to help you grow your business. So at the end of the call, make sure you fill in the interview application form at myfuturebusiness.com/interviews. Hi, and welcome back to the My Future Business Show, where we get you in front of your best audience and keep you there. Now, on today's show, I'm on the line with Ayal Aldema, and we're going to be talking about how he founded Sheer SEO, and we're going to be talking about search engine optimization, how SEO can improve your business, and how the Sheer SEO platform can make your SEO journey so much easier. There's lots of SEO going on in there.
Yep.
So welcome. Yes, look, you and I have been working together on this platform. I've been using it as an end user, and I've been nothing but impressed with what I've seen. But before we take a deep dive into the platform, Ayal, I'd love to just spend a moment of time, if we could, learning a little bit more about you. Let's start off by asking, where are you located? Where is home for you?
It's called Rehovot. It's like half an hour ride from Tel Aviv.
Fantastic.
In Israel.
Yes, obviously. Now, have you always lived there?
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of. Excellent. Not. You haven't gone too far astray.
No.
And I know that you went to Tel Aviv Open University. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. And you studied. What did you study there?
Computer science.
Computer science. Now, when was it? Like, going back when you were growing up, what was one of the first things that you were ever exposed to in terms of software that got you really excited about the field?
Well, I was back in the days we had, I don't know if you had it in the UK, Commodore 64.
Oh, goodness, yes. Way back when.
And
DOS.
it was like, oh yeah, and I was like in the 6th grade, and my father brought me Commodore 64 with all the games.
Frogger.
People today wouldn't believe it, but we had cassettes.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Cassettes to load a game, and he bought me like books for basic, like software language basic. And I just swallowed them like in 2 weeks, and
you took off from there. Now, you and I have spoken about this before. There must be something in the water over there, because there seems to be a hub for technology. Tell us a little bit about the scene over there.
Well, it started back in the 2000s. There was a lot of cash going to startups, and all of a sudden you heard about that startup making a lot of money and that guy receiving $4 million, and everybody wanted to be in software. And it took on from there, and now it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. And some years later, you've gone ahead and done some amazing things. Now, with your life now, do you have much time away from the Sheer SEO business? And if you do, what sort of hobbies do you enjoy?
Oh, I love hobbies. I have
too many of them.
Too much. Yeah, I do. I used to do triathlon. Now I'm only with open water swimming.
Oh, very nice.
And we're so blessed in Israel. We got the Mediterranean, and we can swim all year round, and it's great.
Yeah, wonderful.
That's one thing. I also like chess.
Chess. Excellent.
Yeah, I play chess online. I don't know if you know it. There's an online app that has like 4 million users.
I think I am familiar with it, and you will never find me on there because I'm absolutely hopeless at chess. Maybe checkers, but not so much chess. How long have you been playing that? For as long as you can remember?
Like 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Ever since 20, when I was a student, I started, and in some times of life, it becomes really addictive, and I can play hours a day.
Yeah, now that's a good way to escape for a while, isn't it, from the hustle and bustle of life?
Yeah, yeah, it's fun.
When you were studying, you must have had some people around you that you looked to as mentors. If you were to pick one out of the crowd, who can you remember that had the most influence on you as you were learning about computer science, do you think?
I can't say anyone special. Later on, everybody liked I'm more attracted to people like Steve Jobs.
Oh, yes.
So it's not really software, it's more like entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship, yeah. Well, you'd have to have a bit of that, wouldn't you? Because as a founder of a business, tell us a little bit about that experience.
Well, I always wanted to have something on my own, because when I was an employee with software, you're part of a big machine and you don't always know, how everything works together.
Yeah.
You're just one piece of the machine. And it always bothered me. And I started one business, which was a website for hair loss.
Okay.
And that was a real success because of SEO. So I said, okay, I like SEO and I like software. Let's do something together.
Let's put them together.
And it turned out I used always time between jobs. So that might be interesting. So every time I was between jobs, I took that time, like 3 months, and I built something.
Mm-hmm.
And I built Sheer SEO in like 2-3 months, just the basic version, the very basic version.
Yep.
And I just put it online and wanted to see how it goes. And I went on to take another job as an employee of software.
Yep.
And I just let it run for 1 year, and everything was free. Subscriptions were free.
Mm-hmm.
And they started to accumulate at the time. And once I had like more than 1,000 free subscribers, and some of them started to tell me, hey, why don't you add this and add that, and we're willing to pay. So that's how it
all came about. That's a wonderful story. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, Ayal, the My Future Business audience is made up of startup entrepreneurs, as you were once, as well as existing small to medium-sized businesses, business owners. And they take a lot away from, I guess, the trials and the tribulations and the struggles that people go through as much as they do the successes that we hear about. What's some of the things that you could share about failure and what you've learned from it along the way?
Wow. Okay.
Do you have audacious?
Well, it's kind of a failure. I'm not really sure. You judge it.
Yep.
Sheer SEO started back in 2008. And I was Sheer SEO was one of the first online SEO softwares. Before it, there were like just scammy downloaded softwares you would install, and they were crap, really. They don't exist today.
No, they're gone.
Yeah. So I was one of the first ones to do that, and I didn't take money. I didn't take investment, never. I always did things on my own. I hired maybe 1-2 employees, and after a few years, it went bigger and bigger, and all of a sudden it started stopping and going smaller, the business. And it took me some time to figure out that, I cannot compete with people, like with companies with hundreds of employees, which makes sense, right?
Yeah, of course. Scale.
And lately, I felt the biggest failure. Like a month ago, one of the SEO softwares called SEMrush, they made an IPO of $2 billion.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So I said, whoa, I could have been there.
Oh, well, look, there's still time, isn't there?
Yeah. I can always take money and everything, but I was on the wave of, I should have been there. I'm sure I'm not less successful than them,
No.
but I didn't do the right stuff because, um, there's other aspects for that because I'm sure they're stressed. People there are very stressed. They don't own the company. They own like a few percent of the company.
Yep.
Um, and for me, I own 100% of
It's
Sheer
all
SEO.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, but
You know what? I'd have to say, Ayal, that's not a failure. That's a really good lesson for entrepreneurs to be wary of. Is that if you are in the right place at the right time, make sure you do what you can with that opportunity. Would you agree with that?
right. I mean, you can look at it. You could say maybe it's good because I wasn't stressed. I had a great life
Yeah.
for the last 14 years with Sheer SEO. I make very good living. But for the business, it wasn't good. For my life, it was great. But for the business, it could have been a lot bigger. Instead of taking investment, I even took money from the company and bought myself, assets. And so it's good for me, but not for the business.
Hindsight is always 20/20, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, look, I'd love to, because I think this is a very good segue into the core of the call in relation to Sheer SEO. Now, just for everybody who's on the call who doesn't understand what Sheer SEO actually is, could you explain it to them?
Well, it's an online SEO software. For those of you who don't know what SEO is, you should. It's search engine optimization. It's the sport of trying to rank as high as you can in Google search results. And Sheer SEO is a software that tries to help you with everything related to SEO, giving you information, trying to automate all kinds of activities in SEO, like link building, and trying to analyze your competitors, etc., etc.
Yeah.
There's lots of tools there, maybe like 30, 40 tools that you can use, and that's it.
Well, I've got the keys to the bus, as it were, for Sheer SEO, and from what I understand, that people can get a demo drive. Is that correct?
Yes, there's an online demo from the homepage. You can just click it and see an online demo where we track our own website.
Yep.
And you can also sign up for a free trial, which is of course limited, but it gives you some stuff.
Give you some idea of what's going on. Now, earlier you talked about SEMrush and some of the reservations that you've had, but from not doing things that maybe you should have. But when you look at SEO today, you see a lot of people out there spruiking that they know what they're doing, and there's lots of different software options. How do you cut through all of that noise? What should people be looking for if they don't understand SEO much?
Well, I would say, of course, our audience are small businesses, right?
Yep, small to medium-sized businesses, yep.
Yeah, so at the moment, most softwares, all softwares, will not do the work for you. They're like a DIY. They give you tools, but you need to do the actual work. And the actual work is pretty simple. You can learn it within the quick. We give a free online tutorial, and you can find something online. That's okay. The basics are very simple. You should focus on creating content and creating backlinks.
Right.
And on top of that, the basic stuff would be to always analyze and try to find the best keywords. That's the first thing you have to do. Always try to do keyword research. You might think you know what people are searching in Google, but you'll be surprised how many times you find something that you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
So,
thank you. I remember a story, I'm not sure where I read it, It was to do with you. When you first started off with keywords for Sheer SEO, it didn't go well. Could you tell us that story?
Yeah, I thought I'm a master of SEO, and I was so sure that it must be the keyword, the main keyword should be SEO. I think it was SEO monitoring tools.
Yes.
So I did everything I could in terms of SEO, and I was waiting for it to rank in Google. And I said, wow, this will be impossible to be in the first page. And after 2-3 weeks, I see myself, I see like Sheer SEO in the top 2 or 3 results. And I said, wow, this is great. And then and only then I noticed that I'm not getting any traffic from that. So it turns out that it wasn't the right keyword. No one looks for that, and it should have been SEO software. So then I shifted to that, but I didn't do keyword research.
Now, there is a lot more, obviously, to learn about this. It's a great, deep well of knowledge that you'll have to understand for you to get your head around SEO properly. But so when you're saying create content, let's say somebody owns a blog and they want to rank for a certain product they're promoting, so that they would go to Sheer SEO and they would have their website domain embedded, I guess, into their account. Is that how it works? And and they would have a widget. Let's say it was a dish sponge, something like that, and they wanted to rank for this particular dish sponge. So they would search for all the keywords that are related to sponges. Would that be right?
Right. We provide keyword research tools. You can do the research based on competitors.
Mm-hmm.
You can see what they rank for and take ideas from that. And you
How
can
powerful
also
is that?
What?
How powerful is that, just alone?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's kind of like spying, really.
Yeah, it is. By the way, it takes a lot of resources to build that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
To do that, we should crawl all the keywords that we can find that and see everybody that ranks for them and store all that in the database. And that becomes hundreds and millions of keywords that we need to track all the time. So that's just the technical stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, according to competitors, and you can start with a word like sponge, and it will give you all the keywords that have sponge in them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's multiple ways to do keyword research. So that would be the first thing, I think.
Because I know this only through learning it the hard way, is that keywords are not just keywords on their own. They can be phrases, they can be long tail keywords and short tail keywords. Could you explain what those terms mean?
Yes. So when you call it long tail, that will be long tail keywords.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be keywords that are, maybe you want to rank for, let's say, SEO software.
Yep.
But it's too competitive. So maybe you're just starting and the top 10 are impossible to beat. So you would go for a much easier keywords with a lot less traffic on them, but at least you have a chance to rank at the first page.
Yeah.
So that will be like they might have 4 words, maybe just 3 words, but that's a strategy, because just going to the top keywords, that's in some cases that's impossible. So
yeah, thank you. At the beginning of the call, you mentioned backlinks. Now, back in the days, the way out west, crazy Western style, early SEO days, backlinking was almost frowned upon because it was abused. What's changed nowadays? Is there any ethical component to this, and how should people be creating backlinks the right way?
Wow, that could be millions stories behind that.
Yeah.
Because wow, people, I knew an SEO, just a story. I knew an SEO, a German guy, that would be 24/7 writing in forums back in the day, just because his signature had a link to his website.
Oh,
And that somehow worked, but not today.
not today.
No. First of all, you need to have the backlink coming from a related website.
Yep.
So that's one thing. And also many websites and forums, all places, the main places in the internet, they would put, today you can put on the link an attribute that says no follow.
Yes.
And that indicates to Google this link gives no rank, no juice.
Yep. No link juice.
No link juice. So there's tons of stuff. Today you must really try to think that the link you want, if someone looks at it, no chance of knowing it's unnatural. No chance.
No chance.
So should be on a related website to your website, and it should be embedded within the text, not just a links page or something.
Yep.
And that's about it.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot to dig into here. Another one I'd love to ask you about, if I could, is the reporting feature in Sheer SEO. I know it's quite comprehensive, but is there like a simplified version that people could get their head around pretty easily?
Well, it's pretty simple. You know, you could just choose the pages, the screens you like, and export, and you can have a PDF version of whatever you see on the page.
Yeah. Do you see with the pandemic in the last couple of years that things have changed in terms of, I guess, the uptick and the interest in SEO? Has anything changed?
No, I can't say something special changed.
Not necessarily. Oh, well, that's maybe a good thing. You never really know. Now, in terms of, I guess, the user interface, I know personally that it's a left top to bottom menu. I was wondering if you could actually talk us through this, what people will find when they actually first log into the website.
Okay.
Because I know there's a lot going on there.
Well, there's a dashboard there that shows you an overall view of where you're going and how you're improving. And then it goes to the keywords, which simply just shows you the keywords you rank for and the volume you're expected to get from each keyword. So how many people search for it monthly.
Yep.
And well, I don't want to get more into that. And you can see the historical ranking for that keyword.
Yep.
There's some competitors analysis, and that's more in the paid versions. So where you can compare yourself to your major competitor websites.
Yes. Yep.
And see how they rank. There's something we call Keyword Explorer that will be regarding keyword research that we mentioned.
Yep.
And then you have something I call optimization targets, and this is a step in the SEO where you decide in each period of time which keywords you want to focus on, because you could rank for 100 keywords, but in every given time you would want to focus on like 5, maybe 10 keywords and create content from them and links. So that will be optimization targets. Then there's backlinks, so where we show all the backlinks to your website together with their value. Not all links are the same, of course.
No,
some of them
not
are
weighted the same, are they? Can I ask you, now, when somebody comes on board, you have a lot of knowledge. When somebody wants to get involved with Sheer SEO, who should be looking for you? Is it any type of business? Can it apply to anyone who has an online presence?
Yes.
Fantastic.
But Yeah, it's anyone, but they need to be willing to take the time to understand the basics. They don't have to know all the screens and do everything.
No.
But at least they need to have the
fundamentals.
Yeah, they need to want to do the at least and to acquire knowledge. I mean, some people would say, my wife included, she has a business for she has a coffee shop. She says, I don't want to do anything about it, just as not even invest 1 hour of learning. So these kind of people might not be good candidates. They might want to take a professional.
Yeah, I was like a kid in a candy store when I first saw it. I was like, ooh, I'm going to spend a bit of time here. I think it's very exciting, that's for sure and certain. But if somebody's new, let's assume that I'm that new person. I've come on board. I've grabbed myself a package and I've logged in. I don't know anything about my my website in terms of its current ranking, backlinks. All I know, it's been alive for a year. So is there some sort of an audit process? How do I work out where I'm at for a benchmark with my website?
The dashboard has kind of a summary for showing you how many. I mean, you can, especially if you integrate that with Google Search Console.
Yes.
Because that's the only place where you can get information regarding how many people actually come from each keyword in Google. Yeah, that's the only place. People think analytics can do it, but it doesn't.
It doesn't, no.
No, it's hidden. So the only tool in the world, and that's a little nasty from Google, the only tool in the world that can show you how many people are coming from each keyword is the Google Search Console.
Yeah, it's kind of stifling, isn't it? That it's only one sort of source of information. I wonder what other things that I guess you have in the pipeline. I know that you've got Facebook tracking, you've got bloggers outreach, page I'll get to that in a minute. Page optimization. There's just so much going on. What's coming up next, do you think?
Well, I'm having thoughts about doing more, and this relates to one of your last questions. I want to be a lot more automated.
Yes.
So eventually, that was always my goal. What happened with the industry is that there's many softwares, and we've mentioned SEMrush, and there's a lot of others.
Yep.
I'm always focused, and this will be my next focus for sure. Today, the softwares are more built for SEOs and not for small biz.
Mm-hmm.
Because they will give you information, but they will not do the work for you. So this is mainly because it's complicated.
Of course.
Yeah. So I think the next step in the evolution would be to really replace the SEOs. So trying to automate everything. So you could have small businesses like a swim instructor or a photographer, and they don't want to know SEO, and they don't want to do anything. They want it to work on its own.
They want a result.
So so maybe the only thing they want is just have a subscription, and everything should be done for them. The keyword research, the backlinks, the content, everything. They don't want to do anything.
That would be utopian, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be cool if I can do that.
Would you be relying on things like AI for that? Is that, or is just your knowledge of algorithms?
Well, the main thing I would need is to this time do things right and take money, because this will require a lot of work.
Yeah.
So it's a whole bunch of tools and softwares that everything should be connected, and that is my vision. I don't want to serve as SEOs. I like to serve them, but my real goal is to serve the small biz,
the end user. And with that being in mind, now if somebody wanted to punch in a keyword for Sheer SEO. Would it be exactly that, Sheer SEO?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, I know that you are around the traps at the moment and you're getting a lot of interest from on different platforms, and I wish you all the very best with all of those. But right now, what I would like to say, if you have been on this call, definitely make sure to reach out to Ayal and get yourself your hands on a test drive, a demo. He doesn't bite, not too hard last time I checked. He'll be more than happy to help you. And Ayal, it's just been such a wonderful time spending some time with you on the My Future Business show today.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed the call, then make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, share us with your friends, and book your spot on the show at myfuturebusiness.com/interviews. And if you're looking for solutions that will help grow your business, then visit myfuturebusiness.com/shop.